Hello, people. It's your boy Osman back again with another Rival Fan Podcast. Your favorite show on a Monday night football. Manchester United one, Newcastle one. So far, this is the second time we've done it straight after a game, and it's fair to say it's not been good luck for myself or Cahil as it currently stands. This show, I mean, every time I end up on Monday, I need to scrap it, but nevertheless. We're going to get into it. As always, get your comments in. Obviously, stuff like subscribe to the channel. Everyone's socials are down below in the description. But let's just get straight into it. Manchester United have just drawn 1-1 to Newcastle United. Joe Linton found his Brazilian passport alongside Saint Maximin, who fucking violated Champions League Varane and Fridge at the back. Throughout the entirety of the game, we got battered against Newcastle United. I mean, it's really hard to start at any point because it's probably quicker to say who played well, because the only person, maybe two people that actually contribute to the game was, of course, Cavani scoring the goal, and the other one by a mile was McTominay. Apart from him, everybody else was fucking shit. Every single other player on the pitch contributed. In fact, sorry, De Gea actually. My mistake. De Gea was phenomenal as well. He actually saved that ass, because if they scored in the last kick of the game, I mean, they should have won. Let's be real. But that would have just been unbelievably embarrassing. But listen, make no mistake about it. We're going to this game. I didn't know what to expect, because obviously we're shit against Norwich. But then we look at the team selection, and Ranić has done an Ollie special. He's done that. If it doesn't work 500 times, try again. The same team that's been absolutely dog shit for Manchester United throughout the entirety of the season. Bruno and Rashford, fucking Lord have mercy. These two guys right here have been so shit consistently, yet they still play. I mean, week in, week out, it doesn't matter. Bruno got moved about 3 times, and he dropped a stinker in every single position that he got moved to. I mean, that guy was basically Newcastle's best attacking player, because he passed him the ball that many times in the final third. Like, honest to God, I'm absolutely fuming. But for me personally, I can't believe we've got a point out of that. The fact that we've actually got a point is daylight robbery against Newcastle United. So let's bring in our guests. As always, it's normally Cahil getting banter, it's normally Kish getting banter, but today, I mean, Lolis isn't here. His team lost as well. Just shout out. Technically, my team didn't lose, but it's not nothing to be proud of. Cahil, over to you. Man United, 2 weeks for this great comedy by Raj Katecha. United fans wait 16 days. Oh my God! Oh my God! Cahil, over to you, my guy. What are your thoughts?
My G, man, my G. The fact that there is no intro is just. I feel your pain. I understand sometimes. It gets like that. It gets like that, bro. If it was a loss, I would have been so much more smug, so much more happy, because you
But it
deserve
is a
to
loss.
lose.
It is a loss. 1 point.
It
What's that
feels
mean?
like a
Nothing
loss,
to us.
but you still got the point. So that's the thing that matters. But boy, you were shocking, absolutely shocking. There was nothing. There was no movement. Bruno Fernandes. I don't know if he did anything in the game. I can't remember anything that he's done. Ronaldo, if you want to talk about Rashford, that's fair enough. But Ronaldo, apart from that one volley that he had, non-existent again. Varane, that mistake was prime Koscielny. That was absolutely horrible. Who else, man? You can mention every single player
The
you
entire
can, man.
team, honest to God, I
The
don't think we
entire
can.
team was awful. Maguire, but if it's like beating a dead horse every time I talk about Maguire. He's been shocking ever since he's come back. Ever since he's come back from England when he done that celebration, he's been absolutely shocking, and he deserves to get crud, but he's not going to get it because obviously he's English. So boy, that's that. But man, I don't feel like talking about Man United. I feel like talking about Newcastle, because Newcastle, I don't understand how they missed so many of those opportunities. Alan St. Maximan, everybody talks about bringing him in, just bringing him into their teams, into his top 6 team, uh, on the basis that if he could bring him off the bench, he could cause devastation. He's only scored 4 goals in an entire Premier League campaign. This is the highest amount of goal tallies that he's scored in his entire time at Newcastle. He's absolutely shocking. I don't know how he missed that second chance. He put like prime JJ Koch in the first
Oh
half,
my
and he
God,
comes and
that
then
was unbelievable. That miss.
then he comes in the second half. He gets that golden opportunity, an easier opportunity to make it 2-0, and then boom, that happens. That's why Alex at Maximin. I don't want to hear names like Alex at Maximin. I don't want to hear names like Adama Traore, man. They're just embarrassing footballers. How can you be so good up until the final third? It makes no sense. Callum Wilson injured, Maximan injured, and now Shah. If you want to talk about Eddie Howe, that's the epitome of Eddie Howe football. Their centre back played a diagonal ball in the 85th minute and getting injured. It's like, bruv, I want them relegated. And it's not about the money. They're just shit. I hope they get relegated. I really do.
Kill, I'm absolutely baffled that you're having to go at Newcastle. I'm not gonna
no, bro, because I can't. You got the point.
They've just played brilliantly, dude. I mean,
but they didn't.
We've scored a jammy goal, bro. We've scored the most jammiest. Cavani's got pure lucky there. Not only is the ball falling back to him nicely, but secondly, it goes through on the defender's legs as he scuffs the shot, and that was the only clear chance we had the entire of the game. Let's be real. Newcastle, okay, granted the finishing let them down. I do agree. I'm literally got Sky in the background looking at the chances now. They had a lot of chances, but overall, they absolutely battered us. I mean, they pressed us off the park. You know, they wanted the second ball.
They played harder. It's all the keywords you could put on the English media raffle. They had heart, they had desire, they had passion. All those three keywords. But at the end of the day, they got to have quality at the in the final third. And they just don't have it, man. And I'm tired of seeing that. It's embarrassing. And I could talk about Manchester United, but you got the point. You played that horribly, and you still got the point, man.
Bro, we got a point against Newcastle away, bro. That's not an achievement. That you're making it sound like, oh yeah, we did well, we got a point.
I'm not making it sound like you did well, God.
Why are you defending the team? Do you support?
I'm defending the team because I just honestly, it feels like I lost the game or I got the point from being a Newcastle fan because it was just embarrassing. It was just. If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be embarrassed, man. And I can't believe I'm talking about Newcastle. I agree with you. I can't believe I'm talking about Newcastle.
Well, why would they be embarrassed though? I don't understand.
Because they should have won. They played you off the park. They should have won.
Yeah, but it's not something they should be embarrassed about. Obviously they should be disappointed that they didn't win. But there's no way Newcastle fans are actually. There's no way Newcastle fans are like embarrassed. I mean, for me as a Man United fan, I tell you what's embarrassing: the fact that we've got Ronaldo, Cavani, Rashford, fucking Sancho, Bruno Fernandes, and then we had Billy Greenwood on as well, and we mustered up one goal and one clear chance the entirety of the game, and we were spamming crosses of no quality into the box because we had no idea on how to break them down. That's what's embarrassing. What Newcastle did for me is not embarrassing. They got a result. At the end of the day, they got robbed. They did. I mean, you can say that they should have scored more goals, and I agree with they probably should have scored 3 maybe on another day, but they got absolutely robbed. They made no mistake about it. It's embarrassing for Man United. We're meant to be in a top 4 race. Like, I mean, I'm there sitting here saying with chest that, we're getting top 4, and then I see us performing like that against a shit Newcastle team, and if we got Burnley next, I mean, we're fucking not going to beat Burnley if we're only scoring 1 against Newcastle and 1 against Norwich. I mean, Kish, what are your thoughts on the matter?
Yeah, I think I'm going to start off with Newcastle. Look, you got to give credit where credit's due. To be honest, they were very, very unlucky not to take all 3 points, and I do actually feel sorry for them. Look, I said this to Cahil before the show started. The problem is Newcastle don't have the players at their disposal to play the way Eddie Howe wants them to play. They will try their best, which is what they showed today. They put their heart out and they tried their best, but their best is just not enough. The quality is just not there. You take out St. Maximan and you take out Callum Wilson, that's not even good enough to get out of the Championship, that team. You know, whether the fans like it or not, it's very, very true. The only way that they've stayed up in past years through Benitez and Steve Bruce is defensive football, which is sit 10 at the back, get 1 or 2 of the opportunities that you do. And you've got players like Callum Wilson where really they don't need more than a couple of opportunities. And that's how they've stayed up. They've not scored many goals, but they've not conceded many goals. With Howe, his style of football is so different. And you could see with Steve Bruce, he tried that style of football at the beginning of the season because I think fan pressure got to him because fans were putting the pressure to say, you know, we're not enjoying what we see. Whereas with Benitez, it was completely different. So the last 2 managers have tried that and it's not worked. Now, I understand that now Wilson and St. Maximin are injured, but the positive sign for Newcastle, I suppose, is, look, they put their heart out, not good enough quality, but January is 6 days away. So the owners have got so much money to spend that they could put out absolutely anything. And even if they get relegated at the end of it, they've got more money to burn. So I think he will make a big splash. It will only enhance because the rumors were they were going to get Kieran Trippier, which I think would be a massive improvement to what they already have. Botman as well from Lille, who'd be a good centre half signing, and another centre half as well. But if they then get a replacement for Callum Wilson and St. Maximin, you can see them going on and on and on. So I think there's still a chance because look, I saw the table just before where we came on the show. They're only 3 points behind safety, 3 or 4 points behind safety. Yes, granted, they've played a lot more games than the other.
Well, they've
teams.
just played Man City and Man United.
Well, Burnley have played 15 games and Newcastle played 19. So, there's an extra 4 games. But again, you know how it is. When you see the other teams getting closer and closer, teams like Burnley and other teams will look down and think, wow, we need to pick things up. So we'll see what happens. But they're still in touching distance. They're not too far off. And a few signings will completely change it around. But we'll see. With regards to United, the only thing that I'm surprised with is the fact that the new manager boost has lasted 3 games. Usually with Ollie, etc., the boost has lasted for a good 10, 15 games. That's the only thing I'm surprised with. But look, these players are bums. They're bums. They got Van Gaal sacked. They got Mourinho sacked. They eventually got Ollie sacked, even though it should have been way before that, we all know. But these are the same players recycled, manager after manager after manager. It comes down to a point where you've got to realize it is not the managers. The players are massively to blame. And I am going to put everyone that Cahil said. The only player I will kind of defend, Cahil, is Ronaldo. And the reason why I will say Ronaldo is because Ronaldo worked his socks off today in terms of changing positions. He was in right wing, left wing, striker. He was even coming up. He was doing a Harry Kane. He was even coming up to midfield to get in the ball because the ball kept going to the wrong players at the right times. It went to Rashford on several occasions, Bruno on several occasions, and they did nothing. And I think a few times Ronaldo was screaming at Rashford for the ball, and Rashford was just playing dead passes. So if you're Ronaldo, you're thinking, why am I even trying to change positions when I'm still not getting the ball? It must be infuriating for someone like Ronaldo because he is the one. He's your goal getter. He's the one that will score the goal, and you're just ignoring him. So for me, it must be frustrating. But that fridge magnet needs to. He needs to get binned. Like, listen, I was a supporter of him. Usman knows, beginning of the season, I was like, do you know what? He had a really good tournament, but no, bin him off. He is literally a fridge magnet. Honestly, he is probably one of the worst defenders I have ever seen in the Premier League. Hussam said this a couple of months ago, and I was actually defending Maguire, but now this is. Honestly, it reminds me of, you remember him, Cahil, I'm sure you do. Titus Bramble. He literally reminds me of Titus Bramble. Like, it is that bad. It is that bad. Honestly, it's Bambi on us. In fact, I would rather have Titus Bramble in my team than Harry Maguire. It is, honestly, the levels are ridiculous. And Usman, genuinely, I actually feel sorry for you because you've had to do a full podcast watching that whole game, and now you're here.
No, don't feel sorry for me. I don't want to say.
Boss, honestly, 16 days you've been begging. I've seen your tweets. 16 days you've been waiting for your team to play a game of football, and what you see is an absolute disgrace. Like, honestly, every single one of these players generally just need a smack on, like, need a deep smack. That's all I'm saying.
Look, ITN put in the chat and people are tweeting me as well. So basically, just to give a bit of clarity, on Twitter, I've lost the fucking plot, basically. I'm swearing at every player on the team. And basically, everyone's saying to me, oh, you're overreacting, X, Y, Z. We've only had 2 training sessions. Listen, I understand, that we've been off for 16 days. I understand the training complex has been closed, basically. So the players haven't trained. So similar to when Project Restart happened and the players looked a bit shit when they first came back. That's basically what's happened to us because we've not had an opportunity to train, whatever. But for me personally, I just think it's an absolute piss poor excuse. There's a lot of factors to why it's a piss poor excuse. The first reason is, and I understand Ranić just got here, so it's going to take him time to understand, who's the best players and who's the people he needs to be picking. But you can't tell me that anyone who's got a fucking eyes can not see that Rashford should not be starting this game. Rashford and Bruno Fernandes have been fucking shit for about 3 months straight. Back-to-back games under Ollie, under Ranić, under Carrick. They've been shit every game. I mean, even Rashford, man. Bro, against Chelsea, when Sancho goes through on goal, when the 2v1 as a keeper, Rashford's fucking offside.
Yeah.
What is he doing? Like,
Yeah.
that just sums him up. How can you be offside, but big man? You didn't even give him a chance to pass at you. You literally 2v1 against the keeper. He's like, should I square it? And there's like, shit, I can't. This idiot's run offside, so I'm going to have to shoot. And luckily it went in. Imagine you missed out. That would have been all that would have been on Sancho. Like, just bullshit like that. For me personally, right, there's no excuse in the team selection. Fred starting again. Fred is the shittest player I've ever seen in a Man United shirt on the ball in my fucking life. I don't give a shit. I tweeted it out and I've said it before. He's the shittest player I've ever seen wear a Man United shirt who's played in midfield or above on the ball. How many mistakes did his brother make in the first 20 minutes? People constantly get onto Scott McTominay's head. McTominay's the only guy who's doing anything. Like, and I can't even believe I'm saying that he's been our best player. That just says everything you need to know. So, regarding the whole notion that we haven't played in 16 days, fucking bollocks to that notion. Because for me, the players, they're paying 250 grand a week, got Bruno Rashford, fucking Ronaldo, Cavani, Greenwood on the pitch. You're telling me you can't beat these lot. Sancho gets subbed on. We've got Van der Beek on the bench. Why is he not using Van der Beek? He subs on Matic. You could have took McTominay from bot on fucking Van der Beek. But no, he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to fucking control. And again, I don't want to get Ragnick's back because, again, it's going to take him time. My frustration with him, why are you playing the same team that has been shit for Man United the entire season? Bro, none of those players have played well. Our front four has scored next to no goals this season.
I think the question you need to ask yourself as well, Usman, is that midfield, and Cahil, this is a question for you as well, yeah, and for me, right? That midfield of Fred and McTominay, yeah, which team, if any, in the top six would take any of them? Would you take him? Would you take Fred or McTominay? Would I take them? No. And this is Tottenham and Arsenal. Now, if these teams wouldn't even take them, then surely the board, manager knows. Surely someone knows.
Yeah, this is our fans, right? Fans, look, ITM, bro, you're the homie. You've been here since day one, so I ain't gonna go to you. And I'm not getting to anyone. This is my opinion, yeah. And maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe I'll look back at this tomorrow and think, you know what, I overreacted. But listen to what I'm saying carefully. I'm saying on the fucking ball, Fred is being shit for Manchester United. I'm happy he got taken off at half-time. That was a positive. And in the second half, we were somewhat better, which isn't really an achievement because we were so shit in the first half. We couldn't get any worse. The point being is, if you keep playing the same players, you can't expect different results, i.e. the performance levels, etc., etc. And then people will say, oh, well, the Palace game, you know, had a half a day training. Why was this such a good improvement? Granted, the Palace game was absolutely brilliant, the way we started that game. But that's just a one-off. I mean, the players haven't shown me consistently that they are capable of playing at the Palace game. As Kish said, new manager bounce. That was a new manager bounce game. It was. It happens to every manager. You can go through all the Premier League teams. You've seen it at Watford. When their new manager comes in, you've seen it even at not Aston Villa, but Gerrard's obviously a good manager. But you've seen it at Aston Villa. You've even seen it at Norwich with Dean Smith come in and they've even looked okay in the first couple of games. So for me personally, right, Ranić now has to... I'm going to judge him on the Burnley game because he has to look at this game and say, okay, X, Y, and Z, they are fucking playing. If I see the similar team play against Burnley, then I'm going to start asking questions because there's no way on God's given earth that these same players can be playing 4 days later because they were shit.
But why is he going to change at that midfield? That midfield's been a staple at Manchester United for at least 3 years now. McTominay and Fred are a staple. We had no success, but I don't see why he's going to change it. Nobody's trusted Donny van der Beek. I don't know why. He's been in training sessions with him.
He needs a run of games, man. You can't just start one game and then drop him for a month. You can't do that, man.
But it's one of those. I just don't understand why nobody seems to like Donny van der Beek. Because we've all seen what he done at Ajax. He was fantastic for Ajax. And then he got this big move. Yes, it was the bad move. It was a wrong choice. He wanted to go Real Madrid, but he ended up at Manchester United. But bro, I understand you want to play a double pivot, but sometimes, man, just let it go. Just give him a chance, man. But I don't see him changing it. I feel like he's comfortable. He's comfortable playing those two.
The one thing I would say, the fact that Oli, Carrick, and Ranić so far have not started him, there must be something that we're not seeing.
That's what
I'm saying.
Absolutely, that's what I said as well. I mean, I said if McFred are playing again under 3 different managers, and there's obviously something there that they're seeing them. But for me personally, right, he has to show me something different on Thursday, because if he keeps playing the similar players, how can you expect a different result? I mean, Martial's leaving, and we've got fucking players like Rashford and Bruno dropping absolute fucking stinkers week in, week out. The fact that Martial hasn't had more opportunities when he's fit over Marcus Rashford is absolutely perplexing to me. Okay, he made his choice, he's going, whatever it may be. But Cavani's going, and he's still fucking playing, isn't he? And he scored today. So, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather Martial plays. Like, he's not even in the fucking bench. Like,
yeah, but it's over with Martial. It's over. No, but it's over. It's been over with Martial for a while now, man. You can always say that you should give him a chance. You give him a run of games. He scored 20, was it 18 a few seasons ago. But that was a few seasons ago.
There's too many attacking players at Manchester. You know, that's a problem. Look, Jesse Lingard is still there. Where look, if you're not going to play him, just sell him. Just cut your losses. Let him go. Do you know what I mean? Let him go. Let Martial go. Yeah. Let Lingard go, and free up funds for other positions, i.e., your centre midfield. But for some reason, there seems to be that stranglehold at Manchester United where they don't let these players go. You know, and I don't think Rashford's too far off. People might laugh at me here, or people might not believe it, but Rashford's 24 years of age. You can't tell me he's improved in the last few years. He might get another season. He might get another season or two, but eventually, the Man United fans, they're already starting to. The Man United fans are going to get to a stage where even he might get binned off in a season or two. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Rashford is he's just pissing me off, man. His whole body language has been absolutely shocking. I said on the watch along within the first 4 minutes, I said on the watch along, Newcastle want this more than us. In the first 3 minutes, and Rashford's like won that throw in on the far right of the page, and he's just walking about in the first 4 minutes. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You're not demanding the ball for throwing.
Rashford for me, again, you might laugh at this, and again, Cahil, this is reference for your team. Rashford for me reminds me of Theo Walcott. Reason why I say that is Theo Walcott had a couple of seasons at Arsenal where he scored over 20 goals on all competitions, but there was never a position for him. He wasn't good enough to play up front. He wasn't good enough to play wing, but he could score goals because he could he had the capability to be able to finish. But he never progressed, and eventually Wenger got to the stage where he let him go and cut his losses. I think at 26, 27. Rashford is at 24 years of age. He's in a very similar position where he needs to progress because. Gone are the days now where you can say he's still young, he's improving. He's 24. He should now be coming towards the part of his career where this is it. So the next 2 years in his career will be massive. If he doesn't do anything more than what he's currently been doing, then you've got to cut your losses. It's just how it is.
The thing I see about Rashford. Hold on a second. My nephew's talking.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I do hear that point. I do hear that. The one called Raj.
Here we go.
Rashford attitude is completely different.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Can I say about Rashford? The thing about Rashford for me, and I do get the Walker analogy, but I feel Walker was 30. The thing about Rashford, which I don't understand why a lot of Manchester United fans are turning. One, he is 24. He should be beating his prime right about now. But in terms of his development, he's gone from 4 coaches. One was super conservative. One was possession based, but it was completely in Louis van Gaal. It was pass, no movement up front. Then next was Ole. Now it's Rangnick. He's not had a significant amount of time under a specific coach. One, especially an attacking coach, where he can develop. He's also gone through a litany of injuries. He played with a broken fucking back. For Manchester United, he played with a broken back, undiagnosed by Manchester United doctors, and that's a recurring theme at Manchester United as well. All you need to do is look at Paul Pogba. So he's had so much.
Where do you play him though, Cahil? Where do you actually play him?
On the left.
He can't play up front because he can't hold the ball. He can't hold the ball. He can't play. He can't play on the left. He can't. He is one of those players.
No, I think he can play on the left because he's got the goals in previous years, but he's had a horrible list of injuries in the past recent years, and he's 24. So that affecting a young player is going to be massive.
So would your front three be then Rashford on the left, Sancho on the right, and Ronaldo up front?
Absolutely,
yeah.
Right. But then what do you do with the other players? What do you do with the likes
on the
of
bench, man? What's this notion that
Greenwoods,
you can't have bench players, Kish?
No, but this is what I'm saying. This is
Why
the
am I
problem.
saying
United have too many.
But we're not allowed to have any.
No, but what I'm saying is United have so many attacking options that they need to let go of a few. And until they do that,
Cavani's leaving, Martial's
going.
leaving, and Lingard's leaving.
Well, according to Fabrizio, he's not leaving.
I don't think Lingard will leave.
Them three, I could put money on it. By the end of this season, them three will be gone. Whether it's to Barcelona in Cavani's case, he's not going to be. His contract runs out. So he's gone. Ronaldo's going the year after. There's going to be a massive exodus of players. I mean, like Donny's not getting a game. We do need a DM, by the way. I know ITN, you did put a comment in saying, give Ragnick time. He hasn't signed his own midfielder. Absolutely. This isn't me saying that Ragnick out or nothing on those lines. But for me personally, I just don't agree with the fact that Donny's not playing. I don't see what McTominay can do. I mean, I suppose McTominay physically, but I don't see what Fred can do what Donny can't. I know Fred runs about a lot and gets himself about, and he's good at winning the ball on the high of the pitch. But Donny's more than capable of doing that as well. Like, he's shown you at Ajax that he's capable of being that workhorse. So for me, I am a bit disappointed that he's not been given more opportunities. He got a game at Young Boys that he was absolutely shocking in, but he got hung out to dry. He played him a double pivot with Mata. And then people are, I just don't think that's fair. Like,
I do feel United look at their best at the moment when both Ronaldo and Cavani are starting. Obviously, with their age, Cavani's injuries in particular, you can't do that every game. But I do think at the moment, I mean, especially when you played us early in the season, you looked a big threat with them two up front. And even today, as soon as Cavani came on, the game was completely different.
Yeah, he's just a better player, man.
Yeah, but
look at the difference.
You can't do that, unfortunately, because he's 34, isn't he, Cavani?
Yeah.
So.
But look at the difference with Cavani. He had that shot prior, but he scuffed that. He should have scored, in my opinion. But look at the difference with him and Ronaldo in the box. We look at threat because they've got IQ. You put Greenwood in there. I'm not judging him; he's a young lad. The players like Rashford and that, they haven't got the IQ to be in the right position to get these chances. They don't score these scrappy goals. Rashford and that.
I know it's a bit like a broken record, but listen, you couldn't not sign him. But I do think Ronaldo has slightly not created issues, but it's kind of deferred away from what the original plan was, which was Cavani playing one to two games and giving good. Because Greenwood at the beginning of the season started really well.
I mean, I hear that point, and a lot of people have said that, but then I feel like Ronaldo wasn't there.
Yeah,
like who would have stepped up? Martial's not been available.
But I think Greenwood was on the cusp of having a big season.
20-year-old man. Like, but
that's what I think. Cavani would have got more game time as well, because I've heard in the back.
This is Cavani's fit just now. This isn't.
But I've heard rumours that Cavani's actually been unhappy the fact that he's not had much game time.
Rumours are complete bollocks. He's not been fit. He's not been available for selection. Yeah, there's no way God's given it. This guy doesn't make the bench, man. If he's available for selection, he's not been fit. Martial's not been fit, and he's obviously had 20 turns on the prime. So we would have been relying on Mason Greenwood and Rashford this season for goals if we didn't sign Ronaldo. And for me, I hear what you're saying, but I just don't agree with it because other people haven't stepped up.
Has Ronaldo hindered Fernandes?
Potentially, but Fernandes has been dog shit. He needs to look at himself. So, like, there might be a case, because obviously people say at Portugal they struggle to play together as well, and there probably is a case for that.
I think the problem is not with Ronaldo, it's the players. It happened at Juventus, and it's happening at United, where when you sign someone like a legend in Ronaldo, you just depend on everything from him. You just think pass him the ball and he will make things happen. Juventus did the exact same. It's just a natural instinct that you do. Whereas the players need to get out. It's like a zone. It's like you're hypnotized into thinking that. And I think the manager needs to drill that into them, saying that this isn't just about Ronaldo. You all need to play the way that you've been playing before Ronaldo, but you still need to feed him as if you'd feed a Cavani or Greenwood. But for some reason, that just doesn't seem to happen. And I think that's hindered Bruno, because if you look at Bruno, he is looking for Ronaldo every single time. And he doesn't have that range to do that all the time.
He hasn't got the facility.
This is what I mean. Bruno Fernandes is like a Lampard, where he's in the box. He's there. He's always at the end of things. And he's always trying to get into the box to score the goals that gets his team wins. He's now not doing that. He's changed his game to be more reserved.
Yeah, he's trying to be the creator.
He can't do that. He can't do that. That was the difference between the Gerrard and the Lampard. You know, he cannot do what Gerrard could do. You know, he needs to, and someone needs to tell him that. Someone needs to tell him, say, you need to stick to what you were doing best before Ronaldo came. And I think that's down to the manager to tell him.
No, but is that down to managerial tactics? I mean, or an instruction? If you look at that Manchester United midfield, the only creative force in that midfield is Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah,
So you can't blame him if he's dropping back and trying to play pass to Cavani, to Ronaldo, to Rashford,
that's the issue, man. That's
so on
the
and
issue
so
at the
forth.
moment. There's no balance in the team. I mean, Pogba's not available anyways, but that's why I think Donny has to play, man. We're too reliant on Bruno, and he's forcing too much attack, similar to how Pogba used to be.
It's crazy how poor United look without Pogba. It's actually mad because there is literally no creativity about Bruno. And Bruno isn't creative. I don't care what someone says to me, yeah. He might come out with the odd assist or two, but Bruno is not that creative. He's not that he's not that range passer. He isn't a Pogba. He isn't that person. He's not even a Donny. Donny can find that range of pass. You either play Donny with McTominay or Fred, or you change it for the games, but you can't play both of them because they can't find that. That's why Mata's actually played a few games recently, hasn't he, under Rangnick? Because I think even Rangnick's realised that even a Mata with minus 25 pace can still find a better pass than a Bruno Fernandes. That's literally where it's at.
And he's off to Sociedad apparently. So
there you go.
That's another player great. I mean, I'm happy that we are clearing some players out.
David Silva and Juan Mata at Sociedad.
I'm gonna have to start.
They're rolling back the years, man.
I'm actually missing games, to be fair. But listen, let's move away from Man United. Obviously disappointing for me. Look, I understand people saying that I'm being too harsh, but I have high expectations. I mean, that performance was absolutely embarrassing. There's no other way of putting it. The fact that we're sat here saying we're looking to get a draw against Newcastle is absolutely shameful. The same Newcastle team that's been slapped by everybody else in the division. So, listen, and plus they just got two of their key players injured as well. If say Maximin and Wilson don't get injured in that game, they'll probably win that game eventually on the break. So we got lucky in that sense. But listen, let's move on to obviously some of the other teams. Let's talk about West Ham because every other team actually won on Boxing Day. So we will get to them teams eventually. But let's start with West Ham firstly, losing 3-2, I believe, to Southampton. Kish, I'm going to come to you first, man. What are your thoughts? Obviously, I know you're a big fan of West Ham.
I've waited for this.
The fans were there this time as well.
Not weeks. I've waited for this for months. There's a big elephant in the room. It's called the fans. So no, but look, I said this to our humble resident, that's unfortunately not being able to make it today. I did say that you are currently going through a purple patch, and it's a longer purple patch than normal, but it is a purple patch. You will tire out with European competition. You have one striker in your team, and eventually you will come unstuck. Souček, who had an absolute blinder last season, the goals will dry up. And what has happened? The goals have dried up. You know, they are now losing games against Southampton at home, where the fans are there. The fans are now slowly starting to turn. Our very own Lawless, I've seen the comments. He's now abusing David Moyes, the manager of West Ham United. He's also coming out with non-penalty decisions, which, look, it's debatable, but for me, it's a penalty. It's a penalty every day of the week. He can disagree with it as much as he likes, but it's a penalty. And they're getting outplayed. The tactics that David Moyes has used throughout his managerial career, and in particular at West Ham, is to soak up pressure and use the players in the attacking wings to punch on the counter in devastating fashion, which, to be fair, they have done on many occasions last season and this season. But those tactics can only take you a certain amount of time before you come unstuck. And teams are now starting to analyze the way West Ham play, and it's now becoming easier for those teams to know exactly.
Sorry to interrupt you. I've just got some really good news.
Go on.
Bruno Fernandes is suspended for the Burnley game. Fuck you, get in. Come on! Let's go!
Donny still probably won't start.
He'll start Matic.
Yeah, he'll start Matic.
He probably won't, but at least he's suspended.
Matic and McFred in a diamond three.
But
yeah, look, just to summarize on West Ham, look, he hasn't. The one thing that David Moyes that I'll be critical for is the fact that he's not diverted his tactics. His tactics have stayed the very, very same. And even the fact that he took Benrahma off after Benrahma scored the goal. What are you doing? Don't get me wrong. I've watched the highlights of the game, and not everything he did in the game was fantastic. But he was a guy that just got you back into the game, and then you're taking your main creative spark off, which doesn't make any sense to me. Look, this is now, I think, 2 wins. I think they've won 2 games in the last 7, I think, including losing in the League Cup to Tottenham Hotspur as well. So it's the cracks are showing. That the cracks are showing for West Ham United, and like I said, this is now where I will focus on West Ham, because if they now bounce back and they get the results, the way the league is, it only takes 2 or 3 results to be back into the mix for the top 4. If they do that, then I will hold my hands up and I will eat humble pie. I honestly will. But the way it's looking right now, I hate to say it. No, sorry for the language. I love to say it. I'm right. And I've always been right. Mr. Lawless, I am right. You are wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say it. But the fans are back, full capacity. You're losing games at home. Your fans are blaming the manager, blaming the players, which I said was going to happen. It's going to become volatile. And then you're going to go back into your little caves, into mid-table land. And it's going to be back to normal. That's just life. 2022 is back to normal. And that's just how it's going to be.
Okay.
Look,
yeah, I think you've missed out a really important factor in there was the recent downward spiral. The fact that all their back four is injured. You're gonna completely disregard that notion, or
nah, not really. Look.
The entire defense.
No. Because the way I see it is, he's been making excuses with the other teams. About, saying, oh, but it doesn't matter, or Liverpool lost Van Dijk, but that's still no excuse. This team lost this person, this team lost that person, no excuse. So we continue with the same.
That's the thing, man. If you want to be treated like the big boys, then when situations like this arise, you need to handle it like big boys, man. Like at the start of the season,
West Ham are massive, though. Don't forget.
At the start of the season, when Arsenal were getting absolutely pubmed by Manchester City, by Chelsea, and by Brentford, we had absolutely nobody. You guys still bantered me. I got bantered for 3 weeks straight. I couldn't speak for 3 weeks. That's how embarrassing that was.
Mad.
And how much I got bantered. So, bro, you got to hold that L, man.
Yeah.
Injuries are going.
Lawless did say when Holding and Pablo Mari was starting at centre half, he said that the big clubs, you've got to adjust. You've got to look at David Moyes without Declan Rice. He's able to change it around. The manager, the Godfather. Now look, the Godfather screwed it up. There you go.
Oh God! But there you go. There's your West Ham segment. Obviously,
here's a question for you guys. Ndombele or Souček?
I mean,
oh shit! No, you missed out on this one, mate. Don't worry, I will clip it and send it to him. But anyways, let's get on to the actual, clubs that matter. The top 6 clubs.
Oh wow!
Man United have fumbled the bag. It does somewhat seem that normality will be restored very shortly. I'm somewhat disappointed because Arsenal are in the mix as it currently stands, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, Arsenal 5, Norwich 0. First things first, the title does actually say, Cahil, that you'd be happy to hear. The title says, is Saka currently the best youngster in the league? For me personally, it's been absolutely phenomenal of late. I've always liked Saka and Smith Rowe, to be fair. But talk to me about Arsenal's youngsters, Cahil. The floor is yours.
Yeah, here's why I eat some humble pie. I was wrong about Saka.
Cahil, would you still sell Saka for 80 million?
Absolutely not. Maybe if a bid of 150 million came in, but maybe, just maybe.
Why, we were so confidently going to sell him for 80.
I did, didn't I? But here we go. That's why I eat the humble pie. I admit I was wrong. It's okay. I get it wrong a lot of times, but it is what it is, man. Saka, he's been brilliant ever since he had every right to just completely drop off after the Euros, because that was how he was treated as at such a young age, to be taken on. Bloody, what was that? Never mind. To be taken on the pressure of completely leading this Arsenal front line, because the elder players have completely dropped off the face of the earth. He had every right to just completely go back into his show and not play to the standard.
What about this comment here, Cahil? Arsenal back until they have a test. You've got City and Spurs. I know. But see, I was just let me enjoy for like 2 minutes. My mistake.
Then I'll mention the fact that
I'll come back to
that. There we go. But yeah, Saki, he's been brilliant. Those first 2 goals, absolutely superb. Especially the first one, he just completely Cahil just smashed it, man. Completely took him out the conversation. But I expected us to win. And it was a very comfortable win. That was the thing that was surprised. Everybody wanted to talk that we'd not really taken these teams apart, especially a certain West Ham fan. But we're taking these teams apart now, and we keep getting these wins. It's another run, but we're going. I think it's 3 games, three victories right now. So that's a positive. Now I could get to the City game. Obviously, the Wolves game would have been a interesting test, but that's obviously been postponed. But then now our next game is City, and boy, I don't know. I could be as confident as I can
I
be.
feel that's a free hit for you. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's a free hit as well. I feel like as long as we try our hardest, if we go into the game like we did in
You've
the
got to
first,
be competitive, Cahil, man.
No,
Surely.
no, that's what I'm saying. That's to try my hardest. That's what I'm saying. We need to be competitive, and we need to show that we can actually stand with the big boys, even if we don't get the result. So that's going to be an interesting game. I think I'm not saying we're going to win that because they've been absolutely rampant. But if we catch them on an off day, which they haven't had recently, maybe, just maybe.
Potentially. Before we get into you, Kish, I'm just gonna ask this one question: are you Arteta in now? Or...
Who, me?
Yeah.
I told you at the end of the season I'll reevaluate. But at this current moment, it's going well. You can't complain.
All right, fair enough. Right, okay, Kish, what are your thoughts on Arsenal? Then we'll come to your beloved Tottenham Hotspurs. What do you reckon of Arsenal?
Fair play so far. I mean, look, the one person that Cahil didn't mention, there's a lot to mention at the moment, i.e. Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli, etc. But Odegaard, Odegaard costs a lot of money for Arsenal, and at the beginning of this season, he wasn't starting. Smith Rowe took his position. And a lot of us, in this panel a few months ago, including myself, mentioned that it was a waste of money. It's a lot of money for Arsenal to pay. But so far, it's proven this is why Arteta wanted him so badly. All the chants about, OR to come to Arsenal for so cheap, 15 million. This is the reason why that wasn't the case. And if you look at him recently, he has looked fantastic. I mean, he's got 4 goals and 3 assists in the Premier League so far. And I think all of those assists and goals have come in the last 10, 15 games. So, he's getting better and better. I mean, the pick up for Tierney, that was a really, really good pass. And it was perfect the way he did it, because all Tierney needed to do was the first touch to let it go, and then second touch, bang. And, that's his visionary. And if you look at Odegaard, if you look at Arsenal's front lineup, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, the age is like under 23 for every single one of those players.
Yeah.
Which is where if you're an Arsenal fan, you think as long as they can keep those players, which is a big question, because Arsenal aren't the Arsenal that they used to be. So, if a bid comes in, I'm sure the board will look into it. But if they keep hold of those players, then I can't see why they shouldn't be excited. Now, the one big question for Arsenal fans will be Lacazette, because it's always weird that when a player's contract is running out at Arsenal, they always seem to perform. And Lacazette, although he doesn't get the goals that an Aubameyang gets, he is very, very consistent in terms of his performance. He will work his socks off. I don't think I've ever seen him play a game for Arsenal where he hasn't worked his socks off, whether he's had a good game or bad. He's always grafting. And that is a question, because I'm sure he's 28, 29.
Older than that, bro.
Older than that. Yeah. And if I am Arsenal, I wouldn't get sucked into that trap. And I would let him go and just say, at least fair play that he's performing, but I would not get sucked into that trap, because he will require £200,000 probably, because he's probably looking for that last big payday. And I would not get sucked into that trap, no matter how well he's performing right now. I would maybe let him go in January and maybe eye out for someone like a Vlahovic, who everyone seems to be going for at the moment.
Well, why would you go Arsenal though?
And not get sucked into that, because it happens a lot of the times for Arsenal, and I assume Cahil and Arsenal fans are probably thinking the same trap as well, not to get into that.
Go on your point at Odegaard, he's been fantastic. I from the very beginning when we signed him, I always believed in it, because I always thought that he was the wonder kid, but he just never got the opportunity at Real Madrid. Obviously, he had the season at Real Sociedad where I think he registered like 16 assists. So we finally see the play. All we needed was a season to grow into the Premier League.
The only issue that I'm going to have with Arsenal though is it is those big games, because you have been severely
Yeah.
punished in them big games, and
They need to be competitive, man,
until I
in those
see
games.
those games in particular against a Man City, you know, a Chelsea, a Liverpool, where you actually put up a fight, because these games so far this season, once you've conceded that first goal, it's capitulated badly. But the way the league is at the moment is, as long as you keep beating those teams like your Norwiches, your West Hams, your Villas, your Brentfords, these sort of, if you get those sort of teams wins. I didn't mean to mention that one, but as long as you get those comfortable wins, as long as you get them comfortable wins, you should that top four is achievable. Is achievable. So
on Lacazette as well, there was so after the Arsenal board did get sucked into the recent performances, they offered him a contract extension, which I think he rejected. So
that's it. You've done your bit.
Let him go, man. We got a comment here from Raj. Obviously, I put on the screen already saying Lacazette, unless he wants a 1-year extension, let him go. I mean, I completely agree with that. You guys have made fantastic points. Just quickly to just summarize, regarding Odegaard, I've said consistently he's been your best player. I think for me, he's been pulling the strings, and that's what Arsenal have been missing. He connects the dots, basically what Ozil used to do. And I think he's allowed everybody else to shine, the likes of Saka, the likes of Smith Rowe, etc., etc. A lot of their play is down to the fact that he's just been absolutely brilliant on the ball.
The way Arteta is managing Smith Rowe as well is fantastic, because if you look, it's easy for a young player to get excited because he's been scoring quite regularly recently. He took him off the kind of line yesterday, and then brought him on when the game was basically shut up. It was completed anyway, and then he got his goal. He's managing. I got
a comment here saying Smith Rowe's got more goals than Ronaldo. My thoughts on that matter is Smith Rowe hasn't scored in the Champions League. I'm going to finish there. Yes, I'm shameless. Look, regarding Smith Rowe, man, he deserves a lot of credit, man. I've got nothing against the Arsenal players. It's just the fans. I actually like your players at the moment, especially the young guys. I like all of them. I mean, I watch a lot of the interviews because I have to in it for whatever. But Smith Rowe just seems like a genuinely nice person, so I can't dislike.
Another one. I mean, Aston Villa made a £35 million bid in the summer for him.
True.
It was very easy to let him go. And they didn't.
I mean, it would have been stupid. I'm unlike certain people. I wouldn't sell my youngsters in it just like that. But anyways, let's move on to Tottenham Hotspurs. Look, fair play to Arsenal. They've shut me up nicely. However, they've got that Everton loss in them, so I'm not gonna. I mean, you deserve credit, but I'm just waiting to see how we go in the next 2 games. I believe you got City and Spurs, if I'm not wrong. Might be wrong. But then again, as a Man United fan, I cannot really fucking chat shit anymore because we're so shit. It's unbelievable. But anyways, let's move on to Tottenham Hotspurs. Just before we get into that, Kish, I just want to caveat with, it's good to see you talking about football again, because every time you lost, you were at the gym and not watching your team play. So, are you watching the games now, or is everything all right?
No, to be honest, I'm still watching the highlights. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. This guy's commenting, better than chat. Yo, Kane, this man was bit mine and coach's head off because we said Kane's only scored one goal. I mean, I've never seen Kish go out that angry at Kojo, because Kojo's like the most chillaxed person going.
I swear he called Kane to see you next Tuesday as well recently.
Yeah, he did. We've got clips. He called.
It isn't until I saw Romano's tweet where he says he's staying. So then I'll.
You called. No, you said it.
The Godfather spoke, innit?
No,
the Godfather
literally 3 weeks ago when Kane hadn't scored, I think he had 1 goal. Kish was calling him every name under the sun. So what are your thoughts on Kane now? And
do you know what it is with Harry Kane? Look, I always said that with these fixtures, I told you on the last time I was here that we had some really good fixtures.
Yeah, you did.
We had Leeds, we had Brentford, we had Norwich, we had what do you call it?
West Ham.
West Ham, the easy games. We had some really, really good fixtures. So I knew that Kane was going to score, and yes, he's had a really poor start to the season, but it's no coincidence the fact that as soon as Conte's come into the setup, he has 3 goals in 5 games. I'm not saying that that's fantastic, but he scored in his last 3 games.
He's been 5 games under Conte, is that it?
Huh? No, but that's what I'm saying. Because Conte's hardly had it because of the COVID situation. We didn't play a game for almost 3 weeks. And by the way, the fact that we didn't play a game for almost 3 weeks helped us massively, because it got Conte into the training ground to train these players into the way that he wants his team to play. The game that we played yesterday, we covered 100 and no, sorry, the total that we covered under Conte is 114 kilometers. The total that we covered under Nuno whilst the game was 100. So the distance covered alone and the fact that the players are fighting for the manager is good to see. Again, the question is, you know, what happens when we do play an inform Arsenal, when we play the likes of Man City, Chelsea?
That game's going to be absolute.
We had a mini test.
Can we do a 3-way watch along? Is that possible with those three? That would be.
But look, we had the mini test. Look, again, it wasn't a full strength Liverpool team, but they still had Mohamed Salah, they still had Mane, they still had the players that could hurt you in attack, in particular. And we did well, and even without the red card, we were the team that were the better team. No one can deny that we didn't deserve to win that game, even before the red card, yeah? So, you know, the signs are there. And the thing is the way that Conte plays football, that formation in particular, if you get it right, it is so difficult to play against that formation because you know that you're going to have a defensive shape in terms of the way the team play. You know that a Conte team is going to graft and run those miles. So then the opposition, the onus is on them really to break you down, but also be on high alert on the other side because we have got players in Lucas Moura, Son, and Kane, who can hurt any team in world football. Forget the Premier League. Any team in world football can be hurt by that front three. And I posted a tweet the other day about Lucas Moura, and it's long overdue. Lucas Moura for us, since he's been at Tottenham, yes, he's had games where he's not been prominent, but you cannot say that guy is not underrated
trophy as well,
because yeah, exactly. He won it. He was celebrating it. So he for us is one of the most underappreciated players around. You even seen players like Bergwijn who are getting a game and really having an impact for us at the moment. So look, so far so good, but just like the Mourinho era at the beginning where we looked good, Dele Alli looked amazing. Dele Alli looked amazing when he got a goal and assist against Dele Alli looked amazing when he got a goal and assist against West Ham, you know, in Mourinho's first game. So, you know, it was good, but then it dropped off because even the game against Liverpool, the fact that Dele Alli actually performed, which I was shocked with, it just shows that maybe Conte's now maybe got into his head. But that's people talk about squad depth. The Liverpool game, we saw Ndombele, Højbjerg, and Højbjerg wings and Dele Alli all in the same team. The game that we played yesterday, he had Skip and Højbjerg, so he's able to change it around with his squads based on.
Kish, can I just come in there? So like, there's a few things I want to say, but firstly, I said to you initially, your squad is not as bad as you make out, and I feel like that's the case with all of us. Really, it's about the manager getting the best out of the team. I said it with Arsenal as well. People were saying Arsenal's team is X, Y, and Z, blah blah.
Hold on.
No, 1 second.
You called us shit.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. So basically, the reason why I'm so critical of Arsenal and I've been consistent with this is because I've said consistently Arsenal is shit because of Arteta, and I don't rate him. And I've said consistently I don't think your team's as bad as where you are. I still think you're not better. I don't think you're fifth or fourth. I still think sixth is realistic. But what's to say you can't get fifth and fourth because Man United look like we're not improving anytime soon. As we've been shit against Norwich, we've got looking at the shit as well. So there's nothing to say that we can't be below you as it currently stands because we're not showing any progression under Ranić or under Ali, for example. But like for me personally, regarding Spurs, the difference between him, Ranić, and Arteta is Conte is a proven manager like in terms of like, and Ranić is a good manager as well. There's no mistake in that. But Arteta is still the unknown. Ranić somewhat the unknown to an extent. But Conte has been there, done that, and got the T-shirt. He's done it in the Premier League. He's done it in the Italian League. He's done it practically everywhere he's been. So for me, if I was to sit here and say who the favourites are for top four, not based on actually anything, but not based on points or anything like that, but based on actually who I think has got the most capabilities, I'd say it's Spurs. Because of Conte, not because of your team. Because you guys are always one injury away from being shit again, like realistically speaking. Because your squad isn't as big as you're making out. Like I think if Kane was to get injured or Son, for example, I know you think Son's more important.
This is where January is important. This is where, that's what I'm saying. The whole reason why we signed Conte was because he must have given assurance.
As it is for us, if we get a DM, then we could be saying, because there is a general feeling with the Man United fan base that we're going to get a DM in January.
Yeah, there is.
And then that changes everything, doesn't it? Realistically for us, I think you lot need a couple of players. I think Arsenal need a player as well. I think you need a striker. Arsenal.
We need a striker, definitely.
Yeah,
The problem is that the only sort of strikers that are around, Vlahovic, for example, so many clubs want him now. You know,
They're not going to sell him in January, man.
Yeah,
no chance.
So many clubs, and then you look further down the crop. Who's really available? Someone like a Luka Jovic from Real Madrid, but that's a player that's lacking confidence. So you need a manager to put an arm around him, and it might take him a month or two, which we don't have time for to pick up the pace. So it is really, really difficult in terms of who you can get in January.
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, Belotti's a free agent apparently.
But Belotti's 29. He's 29, and so it's a bit like, you know, it's a very tough look. January's a very, very tough market the way it is. But my only confidence at the moment is the fact that you sign Conte with the assurances. Yeah, Belotti's 29.
He's been around. He's been around for
he's been at Torino for a while.
Wow.
So,
okay.
But this is what I'm trying to say. So
29 for Conte doesn't sound too bad. That sounds like a very interesting signing for Conte. But
it would
Arsenal
be.
And
it would be, and I can see him and Patrici using the Italian market because they've been scouting. We've been linked to Kessie.
Yeah, Kessie is
he? He's free at the end of the season.
That's mad.
I think one of you two have to get Kessie, surely.
Unsung hero, though, I don't know if you've watched many of the Tottenham games recently, but Oliver Skipp.
I knew you were going to say Skipp.
Oliver Skipp, look, if you've watched the games, he has been fantastic.
He played well the other day.
Yeah, his trajectory, bear in mind that he was Norwich's player of the season last season when they go up. I put my hand up and say, yes, it was a championship, but the kind of the progress that he's made has been the right level of progress. And Mourinho himself said it, that by the time he's back from Norwich, if he's not in the first team set up at Tottenham, it's only himself to blame, i.e. Mourinho's fault. So the fact that someone like Mourinho is saying that, and now Conte is actually regularly playing him ahead of the players that we have in that position, it must show something, the fact that, you know, he sees something in him.
Yeah, it could also show that you have Harry Winks as the other option.
But then if you looked at Harry Winks in the last game, even he was fantastic. In the Liverpool game, Harry Winks was fantastic in the Liverpool game.
Man of the match.
Fair play.
I thought he was fantastic. But listen,
you know,
let's move from Spurs, because obviously we've touched on 1 hour mark, because we haven't even mentioned the other team. We're not going to mention Man City because no one gives a fuck about them. So we're gonna finish on Chelsea.
Can we mention your favorite second team, Leicester? How about we mention those guys?
Yeah, you can actually.
Yeah,
we'll get.
Okay.
I mean, you 1 second, Cahil. If I know what, actually, I want you to violate him, because then I can clip this and then get your thoughts on after you play City. So, in case you missed it. So, Cahil, hold that thought. Just think about what you're going to say, because you have got City next. Let's talk about Chelsea. I mean, Man United was shit. I thought Chelsea was shit as well. I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans. I don't know if this is. I mean, I'm not biased again. I've got nothing against Chelsea whatsoever. You don't know that. I'm wholeheartedly said on record, I want Chelsea to win the league, because I don't want Liverpool to win and I don't want City to win. I've said that on record many occasions. Obviously, Man United can't win it. We want to get top 4 now. But so I've got nothing against Chelsea whatsoever. But for me personally, they were shocking. Like, for large parts of that game, Lukaku, without a shadow of a doubt, man of the match. I actually tweeted, why is he not starting? Because for me, it was baffling that Tuchel didn't start Lukaku, especially when he got Pulisic and false 9. I tweeted it. The tweet is still there, so it's not even an agenda. And I said that Lukaku 100% should start this game. He makes the difference. He's a target man, he's a focal point, and that is quite clearly what Chelsea be missing. And lo and behold, he comes on, he literally wins them the game. But Chelsea are riding their luck. I mean, this is their first win in a while. 2 penalties. There were penalties, so there's no denying there were clear-cut penalties, especially the second one. Was Target is probably still rolling about because he got pushed that far by Lukaku. But like, for me personally, Chelsea, I don't know who they've got next. I feel like they've got a tricky game. I think they're out of the title race, basically, what I'm saying. I know their fans still think they're in the title race.
They got Brighton.
Okay, they can beat them.
Maybe not that tricky.
They got Liverpool, in it, after though.
I think so, yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got Liverpool. But yeah, the point I'm making is, I feel like from what I've seen of them lately, they need to get their players back fit, and they need to get Lukaku firing. Otherwise, they're out of the title race, because they just look well off the pace. So, like, what are your guys' thoughts on Chelsea at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They are off the pace. Again, listen, I know the lower teams have already criticised the managers in the top clubs of abusing it, but the injuries to Chelsea are ridiculous. I mean, pretty much half of their squad for the game that they played against
Kish, you
Wolves.
didn't say that about West Ham.
And
No,
but
but
no,
I mean,
yeah,
no. But you are talking. Just name the players. I mean,
Nah, nah, Kish, I'm
it's not
sorry,
just
you
the
can't say
defense.
that.
It's not just he had two goalkeepers and Ross Barkley on the bench for the Wolves game. Now, come on, that is like
Bro,
two goals.
they,
They
This
had
is
they,
that.
they,
Chelsea
they,
West
Football
Ham had
Club,
their
yeah.
full back four out, and COVID,
Huh?
Antonio.
No, but they had their full back four.
Kish,
They
that's
had
five of their first team
they had their
players.
striker, and they had most of their midfield
Kish,
out of the
Kish, I
game.
can't accept
They
I
had
this.
can't, Kish, I can't say I can't believe you went injuries with your first line of defense
After
for
what you said
Chelsea,
earlier about West Ham
especially
moaning about
after what you said
injuries,
earlier, bro.
the man went on a full rant
for
about West Ham moaning about injuries.
Chelsea, I'm going to give them that. I'm going to give Chelsea that. To be honest.
Chelsea, you're a Spurs fan. You're giving
Yeah,
Chelsea the benefit of the
I'm
doubt.
actually going to give
This
Chelsea
guy
that, and I'm
hates
actually
West
going
Ham more, Cahil. Go on, finish. Go on, keep making excuses.
No, all I'm saying is, look, there's a difference when you're challenging for top four and you're challenging for titles. Okay, and,
Oh,
there's,
God.
there's a bit of a difference. You know what I mean? So there is a big difference. When you're challenging for league titles, you need your strongest squad. Otherwise, you are going to drop the pace. Look at Liverpool last season, and
Why
look
does
at
that not
Chelsea
apply
at the
to West
moment.
Ham though? Please
Huh?
explain to me.
Because
bro.
obviously West Ham aren't on title challenging levels, isn't it?
So they still. So what? Can they drop points then?
No. I'm saying they can drop points, but you can't
I
just
know, but
use
surely
excuses.
that applies to both. It either applies to neither team.
Hey, bro,
It
if
applies
in
to
doubt,
both
double
teams.
down, man. If in doubt, double
No,
down.
this guy's doubling down, yo.
Just let me have my moment in it.
Yeah,
Go for it, bro.
So for Chelsea, look, you can't. It's not like.
Can you say it all again so I can make sure I get it clipped properly? So go on. So I'm gonna make sure I've got it side by side on the clip. But go on. So what are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on Chelsea? Kish?
No, I mean, look, Liverpool last season. Yes, I understand they only had they had Van Dijk out, and that for me wasn't enough of a reason to drop off. But if you look at Chelsea at the moment, they've had Lukaku out injured. Then he had COVID. Kante's been out for most of the season. He's had Thiago Silva, Rudiger, and Christensen out. Chilwell is out. Reece James has been out in the last few games as well.
No, he hasn't.
For the last few games, he has.
No, he hasn't. I'm a fancy football. I can tell you, he hasn't been out.
Okay, so he's been Reece James with no defense and no left back. Then pretty much.
What do you mean no defense? They've got Thiago Silva there. They've still got a Chalobah there.
Chalobah
They've
was
still got
fantastic
Rudiger
at the beginning of
there.
the season as well. Yeah, Rudiger.
No,
But
but
this-
Rudiger, no, I'm saying throughout the
They're just
season,
missing the
Rudiger,
left back and
no, but I'm saying
Diego
throughout the season, Rudiger, Christensen, and Rudiger have been away through injuries or COVID. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
but
to you.
they've also
So is everyone though.
managed a title challenge with those disparity with those.
No, but what I'm saying is, it affects the team. The fact that you've had a new, it's not just one. It's not just like Thiago Silva alone has been injured or out in the team, has it? It's been 3 or 4 major players at courses of time that have been out for 3, 4, 5, 6 games. That's what I'm saying.
So please, why was that excuse not made for?
Do you know what? I'm done. You can piss off. I'm done. You can literally you just say your piece. You just say it.
I just
You
want
just say
it so it's
honestly
together.
Okay. Do you know what? I'll break it down. I hate West Ham. I hate the people around it. I hate the fans.
I understand.
But we
understand
people
that.
like Lawless.
That's hilarious.
Definitely established that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Okay.
hilarious.
Okay. To
Exactly. Raj is saying it. They've got one of the best.
let's be fair. Okay. I'll be fair
Yeah.
to us. I'll be fair to West Ham, and I'll be fair to Chelsea. Injuries are killing them both. But I hate every single West Ham fan because again, too big for their boots. And that's all I'm going to say to that.
That's fair enough. We knew you had agenda, but we'll just run with the agenda in it. Anyways, Cahil, what are your thoughts on Chelsea? Lukaku coming on.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
proving me wrong, as people will say, because apparently I hate the guy. But
Is he proving you wrong? That's his first goal in was it?
No, people are saying this is proving me wrong.
Oh no! To be fair, he was fantastic again. Was it for like 30-minute cameo? I mean, that for what he did to win the penalty, his touch was at one point. He absolutely just had. Who was the defender? Matty Target.
Target got bodied.
Absolutely, just finished him, and he's like, "You're not touching me until I get to the box." And he brought him down like an idiot. All he needed to do was allow Lukaku to strike with his right foot. It's a 50-50 chance there, but nope, he decided to go down in the box and give away the penalty. But yeah, I agree with you, Usman, man. They were absolutely shocking. I can't go with the injury excuse though, because if you look, they have so much depth. They had Mendy, they had Rudiger, they had Silva, Chalobah, Reece James, Kante, Jorginho, Hudson-Odoi, Mason Mount, who's been in top form, Christian Pulisic playing false line up top. The only deficiency in that team is Marcus Alonso, because he's absolutely shocking.
Yeah, it's BS, man. Now that you've said that, if you're actually deep here, Hudson-Odoi is meant to be better than fucking Sancho, according to their fans. Mason Mount's obviously better.
And he missed the absolute shocker as well.
Yeah, I mean, Kovacic was brilliant. Mason Mount's obviously better than Bruno Fernandes. Pulisic is better than Rashford. So these are just words that Chelsea have used.
Yeah.
And then, to be fair, I've got to say Kovacic was absolutely phenomenal when he came on. He was brilliant. The way he was driving with the ball, I thought he definitely has been a miss, because I think the misses the capabilities of picking the ball up and driving forward. I'm not saying the players that have been out haven't been a miss for Chelsea. I'm not saying that at all. But because Kovacic, I'm a huge fan. But I agree with you, Cahil. I think although they have had injuries, I still think they've got a sufficient amount of replacements on the pitch that are more than capable of performing at a higher standard of what they've delivered in the recent weeks. So I think although there is a case that they have had injuries to key players, I still think the players that they've got on the pitch are more than capable of doing better than what they've shown us, if that makes sense.
And in terms of like options like on the suspense, they've got one of the best, if not the best, academy in the world. Surely there are players in their lower teams that they can at least bring on the bench.
Crazy,
come on now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But listen, we're gonna.
There's no excuse.
Yeah, no, I hear that. So obviously, it's different. Different opinions on that matter, but that's completely fine. Obviously, if you are still tuning in, please do slap a like and obviously get your comments in, subscribe, all that good stuff, etc., etc. We are here every Monday. Next Monday we'll be back to 9 o'clock. Man United, I believe, are playing on Monday again, for fuck's sake, which is great for me. So we'll be back after us, probably dropping points. I can't remember off the top. I think we've got Villa. It might be Wolves, so that game actually might be called off. But anyways, we're back here next Monday as well, 9 o'clock every Monday. So make sure
you got Burnley.
No, we've got Burnley Thursday, haven't we?
That's Thursday, yes, sorry.
Yeah, I think it's Burnley Thursday, Wolves Monday. But anyways, that aside, let's get on to, before we get to score predictions, just very quickly, I just want to get everyone's thoughts on Brendan Rodgers, because they lost 6-3. Obviously, City were brilliant. It was actually a fantastic game for the neutral, which I was, because I couldn't give two shits who wins that. It was a brilliant game, but can we just talk about Brendan Rodgers very briefly before we got into score predictions for tomorrow's games? Cahil, will come to you first, man. How has he not been sacked?
No idea. He's gone under the radar, but he's very arrogant. I understand going to Celtic and being and winning the title. That's a good achievement. I think he just was one shy of taking the 10 years concurrent of winning titles. So that was good. Then he came to Leicester. He's got them firing again up potential.
We've got another one. Leicester's struggling with injuries as well.
Yeah, but they were struggling last. They were struggling last year, and they managed to get a top 4 battle out of it, and they ended up choking at the last minute.
What injuries have Leicester got? I know Fofana.
Fofana. I think it's just Fofana, bro. Their team. Let me see their team right there. Their lineup. Leicester's lineup with Iheanacho, Maddison, Ademola Lookman, Dewsbury Hill, Tielemans, Perez. I don't know who that Thomas guy is. Vestergaard, Amate. Who have they got? Who's injured?
Yeah, the defense is a bit.
Defense is gone.
Indeed, he's up there as well.
Indeed, he was on the bench. Sumari, but they have Sumari on the bench. Jamie Vardy was on the bench.
Yeah, but what they're saying is the injury. So the reason why Jamie Vardy and Ndidi were on the bench is because Jamie Vardy has a tight hamstring. Ndidi has a tiredness of accumulation of minutes. Johnny Evans, Seonchu, Ricardo Pereira, James Justin, Harvey Barnes, Patson Daka, and Fofana
I've got quite a lot then.
Are all injured.
Yep.
He still should get sacked, though, for me personally. I think he's rode that wave now, man. He's done well, man. He's got them an FA Cup. Fair play.
I just think this is modern football, that after a few years, players tire. Players just tire of the kind of thought process and the management of a manager. And I think that's exactly what's happening. He's been at Leicester for 3-4 seasons now, and I think the cycle's about to end. I think for Brendan Rodgers, I think maybe the players have kind of thought as well, the fact that I think he low-key thought he was going to go to Manchester United. I genuinely think he had that feeling. And the fact that the players must have seen that.
Imagine we had Brendan Rodgers. Oh, my God.
The players must have seen that, and they probably thought, do you know what? Our own manager doesn't want to be at our club anymore, so why should we bother? And you do see a bit of that, and that kind of relates to what Cahil said about the fact that he does seem arrogant. You know, he's very like up his own self. Like, you know, I've won all these trophies at Celtic. You know, I've won you an FA Cup. I've done well at Liverpool. Well, you could say done well at Liverpool. You know, he's been at these big clubs, and I think now it's got to a stage where the players are like, hang on a minute. You know, we're the ones on the pitch. We're the ones that have been getting you the points and the results, and you know, give us a bit of respect. And I think the cycle should end. I think the problem is because he's got so much credit in the bank with Leicester, in a sense, that I think they don't want to let him go and they want to give him every single opportunity possible. But it is now looking like a sinking ship.
The thing with Leicester as well, they do have a lot of injuries, but they've also got an aging squad. Kasper Schmeichel's not been the same.
Yeah, very.
Jamie Vardy isn't going to be the same striker anymore. And that's two of their key players from the time that they won the title, and they've been absolute staples for that Leicester team and pillars of strength for that Leicester side. So once those guys go, it's a question of
the problem is defensively though they're always score goals. I mean, they scored 3 yesterday. Yeah. They score goals in every single game. It's just their problem is they had a plan this season with Fofana and Soyuncu. As soon as Fofana broke his leg, unfortunately, in pre-season, which was disgraceful, by the way, that tackle for pre-season as well. His plans have changed. Johnny Evans is 31, 32, so you can't rely on him. So then that leaves them with no one.
Yeah, but then he signed stupid. He made stupid signings. Vestergaard and Bertrand are shit.
I thought Vestergaard was quite shrewd. I think he was going under the radar at Southampton, but he's proven that he's been absolutely awful. But here's the problem with that: why are they relying on a 20-year-old to be their top defender?
Yeah.
I mean, you can say that, but you can say Sionchu is there as well. But Sionchu once Fofana went, it's been absolutely horrible as well, man. So it's
true.
His fault, man.
Listen, we're gonna wrap it up with the score predictions as we always do. Of course, the games are coming thick and fast. The games are back on tomorrow. Please get your score predictions in the chat. If you're watching this on repeat, obviously get them in the comment section down below. So, Kish, I'm going to pass it to you because obviously I'm assuming you've got the fixtures up. If you haven't, then get them up.
I've got them here.
Okay, so what's up? Okay, come. We'll start with the obvious one. So, Arsenal v City. It's only right that Cahil starts with that. So that's the only one I know.
That's not tomorrow. It would have been Arsenal. It would have been Arsenal Wolves tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's
weekend,
isn't it? Oh well, I'm not going to see you prior to that. Oh no, I am, but we're not going to have to show prior to that. So just give us your thoughts on it. Give us your score prediction for that. Yeah, give us your score prediction for that. Yes.
I'm hoping for a competitive 3-1.
Oh my God!
To City, that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, surely you got to be more confident going to that.
No, man, they're inevitable right now, bro. They're absolutely inevitable. I can't.
Thanos.
They are Thanos, man. I can't see any other victory, other
2-1 Arsenal winning the chat.
Go on, United way, man. I respect it, but I can't do it. I
mean, if that happens, fucking, I need to go to a cave.
I will be absolutely intolerable.
If Arsenal beat City, I need to go into a cave.
I need to see you. I need to see Lawless. I even need to show me Daniel as well. Bring Daniel back on.
Daniel's a busy boy. I'm sure
he's a busy guy.
So you got a 3-1 loss. Okay, Kish, I know this is not a game that's happening.
4-2 Man City.
That's a decent shout, that one. That seems somewhat realistic. I do think Arsenal will score. I'm going to say 3-2 to City. I think
3-2?
Yeah. I mean,
I also think Arsenal will score first as well.
Yeah, I mean, if Arsenal... the thing with you guys, you sit back too much when you score, man.
Yeah.
Arteta needs to stop doing that, man, especially against City. You're going to get battered. Obviously we'll have to wait and see what happens. But anyways, let's go into this game week. Kish or Cahil, whoever's got them up. So I need to
Southampton Spurs.
Yeah, fucking. I'm gonna say 3-0 Spurs.
I want to say 2-1 Spurs.
Cahil, what do you reckon?
I think Southampton will be riding high, especially after that West Ham defeat. But they're going to. I'll go 3-2 Spurs.
3-2 Spurs. Okay. Kish, go on, keep going. Just keep it.
Watford. I don't know if this one's going to happen because obviously Watford haven't played in a while. But Watford v West Ham. Watford v West Ham.
I said top 6. Why have you said that?
Hmm?
I said top 6. Why have you said West Ham?
I'll
Go on, Cahil.
watch Watford beat them as well. I'll go 3-1 Watford.
Bloody hell.
No,
Right,
take it back. I'll go 1-0 Watford.
I'm going to say 2-2.
I want to say 2-1 West Ham.
2-1 West Ham. I feel like I need to write these down. So
Because the
Is
problem
it
is
away?
Watford's defense is a shambles. Like Watford
Yeah.
cannot defend.
Kish, Cahil, what did you say?
I said 1-0 Watford.
So I said 2-1. Kish, you said 2-1 West Ham?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what's the next one? So we also had Spurs winning.
Leicester against Liverpool.
Okay, we'll let you start, okay.
3-2 Liverpool.
3-2 Liverpool. Okay, Kish, what yours?
3-1 Liverpool.
3-1. Right, I'm just writing it down just so I've got a reference. 3-1. Right, what am I going for? I'm saying 4-1 Liverpool. Fuck that. 4-1. All right, who's next?
Chelsea at home against Brighton.
Oh.
4-1 conclusion.
4-0.
4-0. Brighton or Chelsea?
I'm going to go for 2-2.
Okay, I'm going to say...
You believe in Mopé that much?
They play good football, Brighton. It's just they can't score. But Mopé recently has scored in the last few games, so we'll see.
I've gone 2-1 Chelsea. I think Lukaku's going to start scoring now.
Yeah, because he always scores against.
He loves the stat pad, innit? Well,
Brentford against Man City. But I don't know if that game's going to happen now, is it?
Why?
Because aren't Arsenal playing Man City?
No, we're playing the week after.
Okay. Yeah, Brentford against Man City.
Bloody I need to get Man City players in my fantasy football team.
That's going to be an absolute open score. I'm going for 5-1 Man City. 5-1 Man City.
5-0.
I'm gonna go 5-0. Brentford are gonna put up a fight, but no, it's not happening.
Oh my god, bro! Imagine being a team that you can generally predict your team to win 5-0, and it actually comes to fruition. Have they not bagged 5 goals back to back in 2 games? I think they have.
Yeah, because they played Newcastle last week, didn't they?
They are literally.
They hit for 4.
They are that good, Man City. It's crazy.
And they hit the team prior to that for fucking 5 as well. But anyways, last but not least, I believe it's Man United, isn't it?
Yeah, Man U against Burnley.
Oh my god.
At home?
Is that OT?
Is that OT? Yeah.
Is that Old Trafford, Kish?
Yeah. I'm going to go for 2-0 Manchester United.
Fuck
yeah, I'm going to agree with that 2-0.
I'm going to say 1-1.
Stop it, bro.
Nah, come on, Usman. You can't do that. You're home against Burnley. Have some, come on, have some respect.
We just drew to these shit passes, man.
Yeah, I know, but come on. This is, all your fans are going to be there, man. Come on.
Oh, bro, but we can't
they're also, when was the last time Burnley played? They've got 3 games in hand as well.
They've got 4 games in hand.
Yeah.
Oh shit! So our game might not be on.
No, they've got to be out of it.
They're playing it now.
Fuck yeah! Rogers put that's man. Listen, the reason I'm saying 1-1 is because at the moment we've got too many problems in the team, man. Obviously, we started with Man United, but we've got too many issues. He's got to solve so much shit. There's so much shit wrong with the attack, the midfield, the defense, and the counter attack. We're not susceptible to anyone who goes forward.
But it's in front of your own fans. That's such a big difference. I can
just imagine them shit houses in the draw. Do you know what I mean? Burnley, just yeah, we have to win in it realistically because obviously Arsenal got City, so we have to win this game to put pressure on Arsenal. Because if Arsenal don't, I don't expect Arsenal to be City, but if they don't, you're below Spurs, realistically speaking, innit? And Man United would be a point behind you as well, or 2 points behind whatever it's not.
Depends on if you take your games in hand, that is.
This is that game in hand basically. This Burnley game over Arsenal, that game in hand, so we have to win this. So I think if we win all our games, we'll be a point behind you or something. But anyways, I'm waffling. So for me, that's the last game, isn't it? Because obviously all the other teams are relevant because we don't give a shit about West Ham. But listen, we're going to wrap it up there. Yeah, so hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Obviously, as always, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I will be back tomorrow, most likely, with the main night podcast. If I'm not back tomorrow, I'll be back on Thursday 100% for the watch along, and of course the match reaction. I don't know if I'm back tomorrow, it just depends on work and stuff that I've got going on. But nevertheless, slap a like, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, get your comments in down below in the comment section if you're watching it on repeat. Everyone's socials are down below. Just before we go, Cahil, where can the man then find you?
Right there, Free in Midfield podcast on YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, all the socials. That's where you find me, Free in Midfield.
Yes, yeah. Shout out to everyone that's tuned in. Obviously, make sure you show love to Cahil, as he said, 3 in midfield. Obviously, you know, they're basically a partner of the show. We do that many shows together weekly. So make sure you support them as well if you're supporting us. Kish, where can the people find you, my brother?
Yeah, you can just find me at Conte is like a fine wine FC. You know, all the good content's in there. Do you know what I mean? No, on a real Twitter, Instagram, all the good stuff at Kish and do, and the weekly podcast at Usman Talks United. Please like, subscribe, retweet. It helps us massively to keep producing the content that you guys love to see as well.
Absolutely. Obviously, you can find Kish on the channel as well every week on Monday alongside Cahil. Obviously, Cahil is here weekly regardless of the result, but the rest of the guys, it just depends on if their team win or lose in it. So hopefully Kish will be here back next Monday. If he's not, Spurs are probably bottom of the 2 games that we've got this week. But nevertheless, you will see me and Cahil definitely here next Monday at 9 o'clock. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed the show. Obviously, Man United is shit. That is basically the conclusion of the show. West Ham, I mean, it sucks to be you right now. Anyways, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It's been your best, man. And we'll see you